Good morning and welcome to Practical Christian Lessons. You'll notice our microphone's in front of us today. This is the little microphone that I just sit on my desk and use to record. Sometimes I sound distant. I've moved it a bit closer, so hopefully I sound a bit closer and a bit clearer. The reason I normally don't have it here is because I type on my keyboard. But welcome to Practical Christian Lessons. I'm Joshua Pearsall. You probably didn't care about that, and I'm going to tell you anyway. Today we are going over Wisdom of Sirach 22, and if you're watching this on the last week of April into the first week of May for 2024, then go back to our earlier videos this week, either Monday or Tuesday. I gotta get used to this mic being here. Then we'll have had a big announcement video about a playlist that we've put out on the channel, and it'll have a lot more details there, but it's called Learning and Defending the Faith, and it's exactly what the title is saying, Learning and Defending the Faith. Huge resource. Great for anyone and everyone, either just looking to learn some apologetics for the faith that you can defend yourself, or to share with someone who's new to the faith. And I'll have a few of my own videos sprinkled throughout as well. So just like watch the introduction and go over it all. Everyone else who's here for the Wisdom of Sirach 22, we're going to get on into it. And hopefully, with this being closer, we'll all get those nice page sounds. But hopefully it's not overbearing. A lazy man may be compared to a filthy stone, and everyone hisses at his dishonor. A lazy man may be compared to the filth of manure. Everyone who picks it up will shake it off his hand. The disgrace of a father is begetting an undisciplined son, and a foolish daughter is born to his loss. A sensible daughter will bring an inheritance to her husband, but a shameful one is grief to her father. An arrogant daughter shames both father and husband, and she will be dishonored by both. An ill-timed statement is like mournful music, but the chastising and instruction of wisdom are always timely. He who teaches a fool is like one who glues pottery together, or like trying to arouse one from a sound sleep. He who tells something to a fool tells it to a drowsy man, and at the end he will say, "What is it?" If children live honestly and have wherewithal, they shall cover the baseness of their parents. But children being haughty, through disdain and want of nurture, stain the nobility of their kindred. Weep for a dead man, for he left the light behind. But weep over a fool, for he left intelligence behind. Weep gladly for a dead man, because he is at rest, but the life of a fool is worse than death. Mourning for a dead man lasts 7 days, but mourning for a fool or an ungodly man lasts all his life. Do not hold a conversation with a fool, and do not visit with a senseless man. Beware of him so as to avoid trouble, and you will not be defiled when he shakes himself off. Stay away from him and you will find rest, and not be exhausted by his insanity. What will be heavier than lead, and what will be his name but fool? Sand, salt, and a piece of iron are easier to bear than a senseless man. A wooden beam bound together in a building will not be broken loose in an earthquake. So a heart strengthened by reasonable counsel will not be afraid in a crisis. A heart settled on intelligent thought is like a plaster decoration on a smooth wall. As fences set on a high place will not stand firm against the wind, so a cowardly heart in the thought of a fool cannot stand firm against any kind of fear. He who pokes his eye will cause tears to fall, and he who pierces a heart reveals its feeling. Throwing a rock at birds scares them away, and disgracing a friend will break up a friendship. If you draw a sword against a friend, do not despair, for a restoration of friendship is possible. If you open your mouth against your friend, do not worry, for reconciliation is possible. But as for reviling or arrogance or revealing secrets or a treacherous blow, with behavior like this, any friend will flee. Gain your neighbor's trust when he is poor, so that you may be fulfilled with him when he prospers. Stand by him in his time of trouble, that when he gets his inheritance, you may share it with him. As the smoke and vapor of a furnace precede a fire, so abuses precede bloodshed. I will not be ashamed to shelter a friend, and I will not hide from his face. If anything bad happens to me because of him, everyone who hears about it will beware of him. Who will set a guard over my mouth, and a prudent seal over my lips, that I may not fall because of them, and that my tongue may not destroy me? This is the Wisdom of Sirach 22. Man, a lot of good stuff to talk on there. My brain just talking about sons and daughters, and specifically, the covering up of, or what was their exact words? I don't see it there. I just took a quick glance of covering up, right? A relative, or it was maybe, I think it was a father's shamefulness, baseness was the word. And my brain goes to Noah and his son who exposed his nakedness, and then his two sons who covered up his nakedness. And then, of course, the following generations of warfare after that from the clan that descended from the unfaithful son. I'm going to go with the unfaithful. In this case, the foolish son, rather than the wise sons. Just fun things to note there. But I think I also really want to highlight here, because, and people get this a lot in Proverbs too, but it seems pretty clear, like in the Sermon of the Mount is where I'm going to go to today, in Matthew 5 through 7, where Jesus is talking to the people. It's like he's critiquing a focus on outward holiness or outward piety, and critiquing them for ignoring inward holiness and inward piety. And that's pretty clear throughout the entire sermon and throughout the entire Gospels, is that he's critiquing people, right? You clean the outside of the cup, he says to the Pharisees, but your inside, gnarly, nasty, dirty, filthy, needs cleaned. It's not what goes into you that makes you filthy, it's what comes out. And I think the author of Wisdom of Sirach, in this case, Jesus ben Sirach, because I have no reason to question it, I'm just going to be honest, is he does a good job of, like, throughout the text, pointing to inward things being the sickness that causes the outward symptoms. And I think my brain goes to the Sermon on the Mount, mainly because we've recently been studying, but here, like, it's so easy to get caught up on all these outward things, like all these outward actions specifically. But then here the author is just like saying, hey, here may be the outward actions, but these point to what is on the inside, the fool or the wise one in this case. And the Sermon on the Mount, its entire point, right, is stop focusing on your outward holiness, right? Don't go pray on the street corner, shouting as loud as you can to get glory for yourself. You have gotten your reward. Go and pray in private to your Father and get your heavenly reward instead. All right, just focus on that inward holiness. Your prayer life isn't for others, it's for God and for yourself. And that relationship there, it's about maintaining and growing and the spiritual growth in that relationship. It is not about others and them seeing you and thinking you're so great and pious. All right, and adultery, lust comes before adultery, and that's an inner heart thing. You got to fix it. I think that's it. I think there's some good things to highlight. I should note here, and I should note it at the start, I am wearing my Asbury Theological Seminary shirt that I'm sure will pop up throughout these videos. I am just a student. I do not speak for Asbury Theological Seminary or its professors. So I have no official standing within the Asbury Theological Seminary. I do not get to talk on their behalf at this point. I am just wearing the shirt today because I went to fill out some paperwork. So with that, you guys have a wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.